The president of Colombia, I guess that's the country, although it could be the university, recently suggested that cocaine was no worse than whiskey. Oh, it is the university. No.
It's not.
And that it, wait, and that it could be sold more safely for illegal. Does he have a point? Cocaine was no worse, not in my experience. Cocaine was the worst.
Speaking of, do you realize what's going to happen if Trump can really, which I believe he's going to do, stop this flow of fentanyl coming in from China through our northern borders? He's literally going to make cocaine great again.
Bill Maher walked into a debate expecting to control the conversation, but he didn't expect his own audience to turn against him. In a jaw-dropping moment, Kid Rock dismantled Maher's arguments with brutal precision, leaving the usually quick-witted host visibly shaken. As the debate heated up, Maher's audience, typically loyal to his viewpoints, broke into loud applause for Kid Rock, signaling a rare shift in the room. The energy was electric, the tension palpable, and the reality unavoidable. Even Maher's own crowd wasn't buying what he was selling. This moment wasn't just about a debate, it was a wake-up call in political discourse, proving that the tides are shifting, and even Maher's usual supporters aren't afraid to challenge him anymore. In this video, we break down Kid Rock's unfiltered takedown, Maher's stunned reaction, and why this explosive clash is sending shockwaves across the internet. Whether you're Team Kid Rock or still backing Maher, this showdown is one you can't afford to miss.
Words of wisdom from Kid Rock.
Well, Kid Rock's telling you, hey,
right.
slow down the brakes. It's probably a big fucking problem.
But it's got to be rougher. They used to come for the sex, now they just want your drugs. That's got to be. That would bother me a lot. All right. Now that the Boy Scouts of America is just going by scout. Oh God, yes. This is right up your alley, or somebody. There's Boy Scouts. Yes, I've sure it's been in the works for years. It's such an onion headline. The whole fucking country is such an onion headline. The Boy Scouts of America. It cannot be called Boy Scouts anymore because it's exclusionary. Like there isn't a Girl Scouts. Like this is some sort of crime against nature that we each. People are different.
We were just talking about.
It's now scouting America.
In the first segment, we were talking about. What are we giving young boys? What kind of structure, what kind of discipline, what kind of education? A lot of those projects are really difficult. I was not in the Boy Scouts, would have probably never made it. But those are difficult. They have to achieve. They have to put forth effort. They have to overcome obstacles. They have to overcome failure. That's part of maturing and becoming a full functioning adult.
Yeah.
And to take that away is insane. To say this is targeted towards young boys because young boys are different than young girls, and
yes.
So the approach needs to be
They think
different.
It's funny when you fart in a sleeping bag.
Bill Maher has a tell. It's almost instinctual. Every time he takes a jab at the woke left, he reflexively pivots to bashing Trump, like a comedian throwing in a safe punchline to avoid losing the room. He's a master at towing the line, pushing just far enough to criticize progressives, but always pulling back before fully committing, afraid of alienating his audience or tarnishing his brand. You can see it in real time. He flirts with going full anti-woke, but right before the point of no return, he cushions the landing with a "Trump is crazy" remark like clockwork. And sure, I'll concede, Trump is a bit crazy. But he's the kind of crazy that builds skyscrapers, dominates the media, and rewrites the rules of the game. The kind of crazy that turns doubters into believers and steamrolls obstacles with sheer force of will. Some call it delusion, but history has proven that unshakable self-belief is often the defining trait of disruptors and leaders who refuse to be ordinary. But that's not the point. The real takeaway here isn't Trump's personality, it's Maher's calculated balancing act. He criticizes the left just enough to seem edgy, but never enough to risk losing his progressive followers. He walks right up to the line of calling out the woke mob, but when the heat turns up, he backpedals, always tossing in a dig at Trump to signal to his audience that he's still one of them. It's a strategic dance, and whether you love or hate him, one thing's for sure, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Should Kamala Harris run for California governor in 2026 after polls show her leading? I'm going to give that a big no.
She's had her chance several times.
She should run far, far away.
I'm a Viragosa guy. I like Antonio Viragosa, the old mayor of LA.
Oh.
I think he's terrific.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was in the running. I think Kamala Harris would make a great president of a university. Not that she's a bad person or a bad candidate or she's smart, but it didn't work. And by the way, if she does, there would be precedent for this because Nixon lost the White House in 1960. And then what did he do? He ran for governor of California 2 years later. It would be the same scenario. And when he lost that one, that's when he said, you won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. And then he was president 6 years later, so maybe it'll work. You lost a crazy contest to a crazy person.
It started decades ago, in my opinion. It started decades ago with timeouts and last place, participation trophies. And sorry to put it so harsh, but it seems to me like we lost a good portion of a few generations of men who've just turned into complete fucking pussies.
Kamala Harris' political future remains uncertain, with discussions emerging about whether she should run for governor of California in 2026. While such a move could provide an opportunity to rebuild her leadership image, it also highlights her struggles as vice president, where she has faced criticism for ineffective handling of key assignments like immigration and border security. Her approval ratings have remained low, and her 2020 presidential campaign failed to gain traction, raising doubts about her electability. California, as a Democratic stronghold, could offer a more controlled environment for her to demonstrate executive leadership, but it also presents significant risks, including the state's complex issues like homelessness, crime, and economic instability. Additionally, she may face competition from Governor Gavin Newsom, a rising star in the party with his own national ambitions. Bill Maher's comparison of Harris's potential career trajectory to Richard Nixon's comeback, where Nixon lost the presidency in 1960, ran for governor of California in 1962, and eventually won the White House in 1968, is an intriguing historical parallel, but Harris lacks Nixon's political cunning and solid base of support. If President Biden is re-elected in 2024, Harris remains the likely Democratic frontrunner for 2028, but if Biden loses, her political viability could be further damaged. A gubernatorial run might allow her to reset her narrative and establish a stronger executive record, but she must prove she can be more than just a symbolic figure in the Democratic Party. Whether California is the right stage for this reinvention remains to be seen, and her decision will ultimately determine whether she remains a key player in national politics or fades into the background.
Kid Rock, is it true that you're planning to do a gospel album?
I am. I'm doing early beginnings now, doing a gospel record with my old friend Rick Rubin.
Oh, Rick
wow.
Rubin, wow. Did he produce an album of yours before? Have you worked?
Yeah, he did one record of mine, a record called Born Free.
Oh, yeah, I know it well. Wow. So a gospel album. So how does that fit in with some of the songs you've had in the past? Like, I'm a lowlife. Like you wouldn't sing that song in church.
I might.
Really? What about?
I know the Ten Commandments pretty well, and in those commandments, I've never once seen or even heard a thought of one being "Thou shalt not swear."
No. I'm just saying, and I know the song. The song is, by the way, I love that song, and it's very funny. But I'm just picturing some of those lyrics, like, I got kids I've never seen, and their mama's 17. Are you gonna? Are we gonna be?
I take strippers out to breakfast. You're gonna add that to my checklist.
Oh, I know the whole song. It's hysterical.
In a surprising revelation, Kid Rock announced that he is working on a gospel album with legendary producer Rick Rubin, signaling a new chapter in his musical evolution. Known for his rebellious, often provocative lyrics and hard partying image, this shift toward gospel music raises questions about how it aligns with his past work. However, Kid Rock insists that faith and his signature style are not at odds, arguing that religion isn't about perfection, but about growth and redemption. He acknowledges that his career has been filled with controversial themes, but he sees those experiences as part of his journey, one that many others can relate to. By embracing gospel music while staying true to his raw, unapologetic persona, Kid Rock challenges the notion that spirituality must come in a sanitized form. His take on faith suggests that belief isn't about conforming to expectations, but about finding a personal connection to something greater, no matter one's past. Whether this gospel album will resonate with his core audience remains to be seen, but it undoubtedly marks an unexpected and intriguing turn in his artistic career. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more updates, discussions, and exclusive insights. Stay tuned for more.